Hi, thanks for joining me. This is Key 19, Encryption Layer. Encryption Layer Expose Data Divine Pattern by Jason Gray. Current date 4/2/2026, 6026 Anno Lucis. Transmission date 5/26/2025, 6025 Anno Lucis. Current time 8:25 GMT -6. Transmission location #Winnipeg, #Manitoba, #Canada. 19.infinity.019.999.313.19.808 11111100110011111100. There comes a point where the question is no longer what is happening. It becomes what is being encoded here. Nothing was ever hidden. This must be understood at the deepest level. Nothing was removed. Nothing was taken away. Nothing was locked in a distant place. Everything you were searching for was always present. The real veil. The veil was not distance. The veil was interpretation, the core error. You were trained to read reality as objects, events, people, problems, and stories, surface constructs, useful, functional, but incomplete because they describe appearance, not structure, the true layer. Beneath every appearance is pattern, and beneath pattern is code, the line, encryption layer expose data divine pattern. This is the moment where the interface changes. You stop reading reality as content and begin reading it as encoded intelligence. What encryption really means. Encryption is not concealment. It is transformation into unreadable form. The data remains intact, but without the correct interpretive key, it appears meaningless. Reality as encrypted system. Everything you experience is encoded. The way events unfold, the way patterns repeat, the way people behave, the way time arranges itself, the way decisions cascade. None of this is random. It is structured, but the structure is not obvious until the key activates. The key is not given. It emerges. Through stillness, pattern recognition, non-reactivity, sustained awareness, and repeated exposure, the more you stop reacting to surface, the more structure reveals itself. The first layer of decryption. You begin to notice repetition, not obvious repetition, deep repetition, the same emotional sequence in different situations, the same type of person appearing under different names, the same conflict appearing in different environments. This is not coincidence. This is pattern persistence. The second layer. You begin to see structures inside the pattern, not just that something repeats, but how it repeats. The timing, the escalation, the resolution, the collapse. There is a rhythm, a geometry, a logic. The third layer. You begin to see that the pattern is not just external, it is mirrored internally. Your thoughts mirror your environment, your reactions mirror your past, your expectations mirror your outcomes. This is the fractal, the same structure appearing at every scale. The breakthrough. At this point, something irreversible happens. You no longer see events. You see expressions of code. Everything becomes readable. A conversation becomes a pattern. A decision becomes a branching structure. A relationship becomes a recursive loop. A conflict becomes a repeating algorithm. The system depends on blindness. Once you see pattern, you see predictability, and once you see predictability, you see the control structures. Control is not force. It is pattern management. Why this was hidden. Because if you can read the pattern, you can step outside its automatic execution. You begin to notice. Before something happens, you can feel its structure forming. Before a loop completes, you recognize its trajectory. Before a reaction occurs, you see the trigger pattern. This is not prediction. It is pattern recognition at speed. The shift in time. You begin to operate slightly ahead of events, not because you know the future, but because you recognize the code executing toward it. The deepest layer. You begin to see that you are not just reading the code, you are part of the system that writes it. This is the critical turn. Now the realization becomes your attention is part of the encoding process. What you focus on reinforces pattern, stabilizes structure, amplifies signal. What you ignore destabilizes pattern, weakens structure, dissolves signal. You are not outside the system. You are a live node within it. The code is not static. It is dynamic, adaptive, responsive, and it includes you. The final veil collapses. You stop asking what is real. You begin asking what is being encoded through this moment. The final realization: you were never searching for hidden knowledge. You were learning to see what was already visible. The final line: what was hidden is now visible. The code is yours. Encryption layer, expose, data divine pattern. The system was never hiding the code. It was waiting for you to learn how to read it. Jason Gray. All right, thank you. I will put the links as usual to the Facebook post and to Jason's Facebook page directly in the description below. Appreciate you being here. I'll see you next time.